Okay. All right. Uh, Peace and love, African family. This is your brother, Mukondeleli Muraudzi wa Gwamasenga. Welcome to Mlinzi Afrika. Here to talk about geopolitical issues. I hope you're having a good day, or you've had a good day, and you are doing well wherever you may be. Today, I am with my friend, the ghost.
What's up? What's up?
I guess
Yeah.
today we're both ghosts.
Yeah, we're ghosts today, bro.
We both ghosts today.
What's it? Recordings.
You know what I mean. I don't want to show my face today, and I
Yeah.
think one of the things is sometimes I see the audience
Yeah.
tend to how can I put this? Get distracted by my face and all of that. So
I don't know where you're going with this. But okay. I'm gonna let you have it. I'm not gonna shoot you down or anything like that. I'm gonna be a good friend.
no, I was like, no, man, let's try this out.
Yeah.
Today, I got some hot for you. Something
Gotcha.
hot for you. It actually goes back to a conversation I had previously where I was talking about this Make America Great Again. And my view was, I mean, obviously, I don't agree with Trump's politics, right-wing politics,
Yeah.
white nationalism. I don't agree with that. But I was of the view that it seems Trump is dismantling the American empire, the US empire. And I came across two videos by two thinkers, I really respect in terms of their analysis.
Yeah.
So number one is Shahid Bolsen from the channel Middle Nation.
All right.
And then number two is Richard Wolff, an American economist. Now, I don't think these two people necessarily know each other like that or share sort of an ideological worldview.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Shahid Bolsen, for example, his geopolitical analysis is rooted in Islamic thought. And then Richard Wolff is an economist, and he seems to either be a communist or a socialist. So I think he's a socialist, actually.
Oh, Richard Wolff.
Richard Wolff, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's an economist.
WHORF is what I learned. Funny surname. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you.
So Wolff, that's him. And so, but both of them, I found them to have intersecting points of view. But
Yeah.
you will see they come from different viewpoints when we start looking at their videos. But ultimately, they're talking about the dismantling of the American empire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Richard Wolff and Shahid Bolsen, let's take a listen. And every now and then I'm going to pause to come in and reflect a bit on what is being said.
All right.
Let us begin with our friend Shahid Bolsen.
All right.
And hear what he has to say.
Well, I think basically the A National OCGFC, as I've talked about many times, I think that they've transcended the traditional structures in which they initially developed. The nation-state model compartmentalized the world into boxes, and within those boxes, they created systems of order and control, and each box had its own economy, had its own power structure. So within the economy of each box, or what you call countries, some rose to the top within those boxes, but those boxes don't have any roofs. And now those who rose to the top of the box kept rising until they're not even in the boxes anymore. And once you get out of the box, once you transcend the walls of the box, well, you see things differently. And the A National OCGFC see things very differently than the nationalistic OCGFC, for example, the military-industrial complex. They see things very differently because they're not as limited as before. See, you and I look at a map and we see countries, we see states, we see borders. We're looking at all of the compartments of the world.
I like what he says here. Um, so let's take a moment to reflect. Okay, he uses a term OCGFC. I have not heard anyone use this term, so I'm inclined to believe he coined it.
Sounds like it. Unless it's, but it sounded way too rehearsed to be something he coined.
No,
I'm joking, but yeah.
he uses this term all the time.
I can't say I've heard it as well outside of this guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and so OCGFC is the term he used to coin. He says OCGFC, right? The owners and controllers of global financialized capital.
The 1%.
The 1%,
Got it.
the
Yeah.
guys who control the money. And so he talks about two factions in this group. He said, here you heard him refer to the a-national OCGFC. And then there is the nationalistic OCGFC. So your nationalistic OCGFC would be those America first, patriot, American national interests.
One more time. So the
nationalist.
Okay, all right. Okay.
The nationalist OCGFC, the owners and controllers of globalized financial capital, who are nationalistic. So they have some ideology. Then the a-national OCGFC are those guys who he talks about. He talks about the boxes, right? The countries as boxes and zones of resources and control and geopolitical control. The a-national, these ones who are beyond the boundaries of nation states, they think differently from the nationalistic ones. The nationalistic ones are loyal to some state or states.
Yeah.
The a-national guys, they don't. He will explain. They don't have religion. They don't have any ideology. They are purely concerned with different. You see, he says when they look at a map, they don't see countries. They see zones of resource extraction. They don't. They're
Like
not
economic hotspots in a sense. Yeah.
what oil is here, what
Yeah,
is here.
yeah.
Sfunan, njalo njalo. So they are not concerned about American national interests. They could be Americans by birth or whatever, but now
But they're not.
they're not necessarily loyal to that thing. They have outgrown it. They're at a different level now. And it reminds me of a conversation I once had with my people back in the day when we were still, last year, when we were still going through the South African elections.
Yeah.
And I said, and I was speaking particularly on this issue of, hey, foreigners, what. See, there's a difference between the view that an eagle has over the world as it's flying and, pedestrians and how they see things from their vantage point.
Yeah.
OCGFC are eagle level, aerial view. A lot of our people, when they look at the map, if they do look at the map,
Yeah.
they see countries, and they are, a lot of them say they are patriots to this and that, and a lot of them are concerned about these little borders. OCGFC, for example, when they look at Africa, they're not looking at countries. They're looking at resource zones. So the OCGFC, for example, they could have business interests from the southern tip in South Africa to straight to the north in Egypt and Kokaikai, Algeria and so on. They don't care about what you and I care about. They're not interested in politics, in religion and all this stuff.
It's the economic benefit.
Bird's eye view.
Yeah.
Bird's eye view, Ghost.
Okay. It's a whole different mindset.
Hectic.
It's not the same way we normally think.
It's a viewpoint.
Yeah.
It's a vantage point,
Different perspective completely.
And that's why I've been urging my people, can we get into the understanding of geopolitics? Can we try to have a similar view to the owners and the controllers? Because right now we are like little lab rats here fighting each other. Those guys are sitting there at the top and busy making decisions and thinking strategically.
Yeah.
They're not concerned with these emotions of ours. Oh, my faith, my religion, oh, my nationality. I'm a patriot. They don't care about, not interested in none of your stuff. They're just looking at, oh, Southern Africa as a region. Okay, resource, where, and so on.
What can we gain from this land?
Yeah.
Not the country, the land itself.
And then
This sector.
us were at each other's throats.